What kind of Christian are you? What kind of Jew are you? What kind of American are you? What kind of Israeli are you? What kind of citizen are you? You can be the antithesis of what all of that should be by its truest definition. Bit of an anathema. You ever heard the term Jews for Jesus? Well, if you're Jewish, that doesn't make sense. Well, Jews for Yeshua might be closer to it, at least that's his Hebrew name. Jews for Jesus, what does that mean? I thought the Jews killed Jesus. Well, Jesus was Jewish. The disciples were Jewish. The story in the book is Jewish. What do you mean that Jews killed Jesus? How could any Christian ever say that? I thought you believed in Jesus. No man kills me. I've laid down my life. Spiritually, laying down his life. Judas was born as a son for that purpose. I came to give my life. For God so loved the world, they quote John 3, that God gave. Well, I guess you could say God killed Jesus. The most famous verse in the Christian world, isn't it? That he gave his only begotten son, sent him to be a sacrifice. Not my will, but thy will be done, Lord. My Father, in the prayer in the Garden of Gethsemane. Why do you have this racist view of Jews and you claim to believe in Jesus, but you don't believe in Jesus because you don't even worship the day that he has set aside as honoring? You do what the Romans and other people, they are your gods. You followed the concoctions of men, institutions, and governments that gave you Sunday, Constantine, the Lord's Day in Rome for all religions. That's what it was designed, but you don't know your history. It's okay. You like the Greeks and the Romans, but you don't like Yeshua. He wouldn't even be who he was if he did not fulfill the Jewish prophecies. He came through the line of a Jewish descendancy, but you don't care. You just hijacked it and turned it into anything you want to turn it into. It's called trans-spiritualism, like transgenderism. You woke up one day and decide that a woman is not a woman. A woman is a man who wants to be a woman. A dog's not a dog and a cat's not a cat. You can identify whatever you want. You all are the exact same people. The Christians today are no different than the liberal, the left-wing, the progressive, and the regressive. You're all the same people. You're mentally ill. Don't even want to call things by their real name. You hate that. Yeshua. His real name, Yeshua. Don't they call you by your real name? You definitely call your sports heroes by their real name and your sports brands and clothing, fashion brands and labels. But when it comes to the Lord, you have all kinds of reasons and excuses why you are half twit, half baked. Hypocrites. Worse than even a hypocrite. Absolutely demonic. Oh, I shouldn't say that and insult the demons, because the demons believe and tremble. You don't even tremble, and your belief without works is dead anyway. Jews did not kill Jesus. Get over it. But Jews for Jesus? So they get to violate the Shabbat? Well, because it's the Jesus of Constantine, of Rome, of Ignatius, of all the other so-called church fathers that you Romans and Brits love to quote. Not to mention your bisexual King James of Scotland and your I'm in charge of the church Antichrist King Henry VIII. I'll take over and come my own church, my own religion. You all do it, and the Protestants have done even worse. But that's who you are. Doesn't make sense, does it? Jews for Islam? Does that make sense? Doesn't. Of course not. Islam for Israel? Muslims can come in your country and build a mosque. You can't go in their country and build a church. Interesting. Christians for gay marriage. Wow. Does it make sense? It happens. Christians for abortion. It happens. Christian for women pastors taking authority that God did not give them over the congregation. It happens. Christians for feminism. Christians for green energy. Well, of course. Well, Christians are pagans anyway, by its true definition of where the word comes from. Again, people who don't like to be called what God calls them come up with the word that started with Antioch. I get it. It doesn't matter. I don't care. I like to be called with people, names they came up with us for. I don't want to be called what my Father calls me. Sons and daughters of God. Children of the Lord. Unbelievable. Hypocrites. Americans for Canada. Are you a citizen of Canada? Americans for Palestine. They would kill you in Palestine, particularly those of you who wave that Palestinian flag. There is nothing like you in Palestine. And if you dared go to Palestine, dressed like you're dressed, half naked, pink and orange and blue hair, blouse down below the cleavage, and twisting your butt like a woman when you were a man, they would kill you. But in your mental illness, you can wave a flag in your country. You hate America. Well, go live in Palestine. Go live in Iran. Look me up. I'll get you a ticket. We'll make some arrangements. Give up your citizenship, you hypocrite. You hate yourself? You hate your country? They obviously, your enemy doesn't hate you. That's why they're here. That's why they're building mosques in your cities. They're not throwing their religion under the bus, you hypocrites. The only reason why the Muslims are taking over is because you hate your own God, and you hate your own religion, and you hate your own country, and you hate your own morality because you don't have any. And there you go. But they do. And in their view, you are inferior. And such is the world that you live in now. You are reaping your ignorance, your confirmation bias. You tore the 10 Commandments off your walls. You marched in the streets, grabbing your private parts in the name of feminism to kill an unborn child that had nothing to do with your life being in jeopardy in childbirth. You're sexually promiscuous, financially greedy, intellectually inept, morally bankrupt, and a hater of God. And so, the biggest religion in the world, while you are perfect for them, easy pickings, because in the name of Allah and their Sharia and their halal and their caliphate and their prophet and their multiple babies that they bring along with them, your days are over. They don't need bullets and special weapons. They destroy you like a spiritually psyop. They're destroying where it counts, at the bedrock of your civilization. And that's not the Pentagon. That's not the warships or the warplanes. It's not the soldiers. It's the minds of your women and your children and your feminist men, who are the same as women and children. So there you have it. Women for death, women for murder, women for dogs, but not for babies and children. Christians for Islam, American citizens for Palestine, Jews for Jesus. You've all lost your minds. And thereby, and therefore, and therein, you receive the just reward, consequence of your actions. You made this bed, and you're going to lie in it. But it was your choice to forsake God and leave an opening. You threw God out, and you had an empty heart and an empty mind, and you welcomed any and everything in. You become a mental, spiritual prostitute. You will sleep with, live with, eat with, and do anything with anything but what you should. And now you are a contaminated, corrupted, perverse, sick, and diseased nation. You've lost your character, your identity, your morality. You lost your purpose, your focus, your drive. And most of all, you've lost a desire to survive. And your enemy sees those vulnerabilities and is taking advantage and maximizing it. Look in the mirror. You're not losing because your enemy is so strong. You are losing because you are so weak.